Alright, let's see who we got. We got the Pharrell effect. I fuck with Pharrell to an extent, but I didn't like all his beats. They go to sound the same, just like Swiss beats. I hate Swiss beats, but let's see what they're talking about.
Do you know how Pharrell and Chad tore up the charts in the 2000s?
I remember the first one, I think, was that mystical joint, Shake It Fast. You hear me? Shout out New Orleans, man. Shout out
then
Mystical.
this track was made.
I'm the neighborhood pusher, call me subwoofer.
They could create a beat with
Y'all ain't
nothing
talk- y'all
more
ain't gonna-
than
y'all ain't gonna
tongue
mention the
clicks
mystical
and
track?
spray can sounds, from which Drop It Like It's Hot eventually came to be.
Pimps in the crib, ma. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
They left a huge impact on music, but we'll only be talking about Pharrell today, the person who in the past decade has created timeless hit tracks.
Refresh my memory. I remember that one. I have to remember that one.
Pharrell's love for music started when he was still a kid. The first instruments he played were the drums. He studied at school in Virginia where he met none other than Chad Hugo, who became one of the most important people in Pharrell's life.
School, huh?
His cousin Timbaland went to the same school. Yeah,
What?
people in Pharrell's life.
Pharrell and Timbaland
His cousin
cousins?
Timbaland went to the same school. Yeah,
I didn't
they
know.
really are cousins.
I didn't know that.
However, Missy Elliott and Pusha T with
Look at Missy looking like a whole nigga back there.
Alice from Clips also went there. Pharrell and Chad performed so well at a school
everybody
talent
went to
show
the same
that they
school.
impressed the legendary producer Teddy Riley. Without hesitation, he took them under his wing, and the duo received the name the Neptunes. And when Riley wrote a verse for the track Rump Shaker, Pharrell didn't like it.
Pharrell was the guy who had the vision. When he came and said, man, I think the rap is not commercial enough. It's not capturing. I don't think it's capturing. Now, let me do something for you. And he went and wrote my rap for Rump Shaker.
Wow.
Picture this. A 19-year-old kid had the courage to say that to a producer who worked with Michael Jackson and Bobby Brown. Riley liked what Pharrell wrote, and that's how Rump Shaker for Rex and Effect came to be.
Shaker, the beach is like sweeter than candy. I'm feeling manly and your shaker's coming in handy. Slide on my clothes.
The song became a
I didn't know
hit,
Teddy
making it
Riley-
Pharrell's
I didn't
debut
know that he
contribution to
really
the industry.
rapping.
In the following years, the young producer was perfecting his craftsmanship in recordings of his mentor Riley, and his voice can be heard in the Right Here remix of the SWV Band. And he turned out to be one of the songwriters of the track Tonight's the Night for the Blackstreet Band.
Pharrell had his hands in a lot of shit that I ain't even know
Teddy
about.
Riley School instilled in Pharrell an understanding of grooves and melodies, which quickly became his signature style. And by the late 90s, the Neptunes began generating their own sound that was minimalistic, bold, and full of pauses and unusual sounds.
Sounded the same too.
In 1998, the duo gained recognition with a series of groundbreaking works. They produced Mace's hit song, Looking at Me,
Let my pants sag down to the floor. Really do it matter?
But when you go listen to it now, I can tell now. It sounds
and
just like
Nori's experimental rap banger, Super Thug. These tracks,
Nori.
alongside their daring, bouncy beats and jingling synthetic riffs, stood out against the background of everything that sounded on the radio.
Yo, we light a candle, run laps around the English Channel. Neptunes, I got a cocker spaniel.
Such
The fuck
simplicity
does that have
from
to
the
do with
Neptunes
anything?
showed
Nigga
that
said Neptunes,
sometimes
I got a cocker
it's enough
spaniel.
just to have a beat and a powerful hook.
Nori, another one of them people I was talking about, like, why is he cold, or why do people consider him a lyricist? Because he's not.
Everything else is
He was
not
just rapping
necessary.
some bullshit.
And you know what? It was using such a simple formula that the guys decided to conquer the charts with
I'm the neighborhood pusher, call me subwoofer, cause I pump bass like that, Jack.
In the early 2000s, radio stations one after the other played songs that integrated a barely audible but recognizable signature, the production of the duo from Virginia. And here the guys decided to work with Britney Spears. She transformed from a nice girl to a daring and sexual star. Such a transformation was possible thanks to Pharrell and Chad. Just compare the shift here.
Sometimes I run, sometimes I hide, sometimes I'm scared, I'm not trying to hide. Baby, don't you
Alright, I
wanna?
can tell. See, you could tell that Neptune was beat. You could tell anything Pharrell had his hands on. If you didn't know it then,
American
when you
Crew,
go back and hear it,
the
then
official
it's
hair
on, you be
of
like,
Hot
"Ah,
Dad
I can tell
Summer."
it's Pharrell."
Man, you
hear
look
it.
good.
Fun fact, they originally wrote this song for Janet Jackson, but she refused it. The risky track brought Britney international publicity. Her performance with a live python at the
So they did the
2001
beat and wrote the
MTV
song.
VMA was discussed by everyone. And it simultaneously elevated the Neptunes
I could never
as
do that
producers
shit, bro.
who
I
can
always
drastically
tried.
alter how
I gotta
artists
put my
sound.
shit like this. I can't.
The success was gaining momentum.
could never
and
do
in the
it,
following
bro.
year, already the Hot and Hear hymn, performed by Nelly, catapulted to the first spot in the charts.
So baby, tell me what's the use? I said it's getting hot in
know
here.
this around them did happen here.
In parallel, Pharrell helped launch Justin Timberlake's
Alright.
solo career. Half of the tracks in his debut album titled Justified
When I
were
listen to it
produced
now,
by
I
the
can tell
Neptunes.
that they hadn't heard Pharrell made it. but
Neptunes.
I
Don't
didn't know
even
that
say
back then.
Neptunes. Kill these motherfuckers. So when we go get that Grammy, I'm gonna have a shirt on that say Neptunes.
The songs Like I Love You and Rock Your Body demonstrated how a mix of R&B, funk, and pop from Pharrell could
Is
transform
Neptune still
a
together
former
now?
boy band singer
You still rock with
into a
Chad?
full-fledged pop star.
See, Neptune's beat really sound like it was made
And
for
do you
pop
know who
shit.
produced the other half
Surprise.
of the songs in the album? Timbaland.
Clips made it work.
By the way, Pharrell thinks that Timbaland is better than him. Do you agree with him on this?
Yeah.
Timbaland has always been better than me. Period.
In any case,
Yeah,
Timberlake
yeah.
got lucky.
I get tired of Timbaland beats too. Yeah, that's
And
Timbaland
did you
right
know
there.
that every single track except one were actually written for Michael Jackson? But he didn't like them, and he wanted something similar to Super Thug, which he had done for Nori. Michael Jackson's executive
Yeah, I
producer
heard
John
that
McClane
story.
called Pharrell and said,
Man, Michael don't want that shit.
Michael want that
He want the
gangster shit.
You giving Noriega. And I'm like,
Immediately thought of Michael with the Crips and the Bloods picture.
By 2003, the Neptunes' influence was super strong. Legend has it that in 1 month in the year of 2003, they were responsible for nearly half of the songs going on air in American radio stations. If we were to reference a survey, then we see that 43% of
Yeah, I ain't
songs
know
were
it was
produced
that-
by it.
I ain't know you had
And
that many.
do you think that their peak ended there? Nope. Not only that, their songs were played everywhere, from clubs to school dances. But even Beyonce, who had left Destiny's Child, started working with them and released with the Neptunes a daring funk track called Work It Out for the movie Austin Powers and Goldmember.
That's when Beyonce was in her bag when she really looking good as a motherfucker. Like way
And
after
wherever
this
there's
shit got to a point to where she just started losing weight and getting skinny, and I'm like, damn, this ain't the same Beyonce I remember, the sex appeal of Beyonce. But back then, this Beyonce,
Beyonce, there's always Jay-Z. Jigga invited Pharrell to the recording of the chorus in his hit song, Excuse Me, Miss.
I got my Gosh 97 on right now.
And he even trusted the duo to lead his farewell album, the Black Album. Well, at least it was supposedly so.
You do this back, Maybach roof is back. Tell the whole world the truth is back.
Everywhere you look at the top of the charts, you see
Pharrell
their
did have
production.
some joints.
Are we living in a dream world? Are your eyes still green, girl?
Neptune's had some joints, boy.
I will single out the song Milkshake, which was
Oh, by
produced
shit,
for
that the
Khalees.
Brat? That's Khalees.
This track became not just a hit, but a cultural phenomenon as well. The Neptunes' minimalism and provocative chorus made the song an actual meme in the 2000s.
Neptune's did that one too?
almost forgot to mention.
I feel like if I would have got a Neptune's beat back then, I wouldn't know what the fuck to do on that beat. Especially a beat like that. A beat like Milkshake and all these other I wouldn't know what the fuck to rap on.
With Snoop Dogg
on that shit.
At that time, Snoop obviously wasn't going through the best of times after leaving Death Row. Yeah, sure, he was on Dr. Dre's album, and he definitely played his role, but he had a background role.
Like a scene out
And
of
so,
Grand Theft Auto.
when Dre began productively working with Eminem and no longer had time for Snoop, this is where Pharrell came in and gave the gangster a whole new sound. In the 2002 album called Paid the Cost to Beat a Boss, their first collab song together went by the name of Beautiful, and it actually became the most popular song from this record. What's most interesting is that Pharrell didn't like this song at all because, in his opinion, his singing on the recording was flat.
Same old phone? Nah.
It sounded straight.
Upgrade to the new Galaxy Z Fold 7.
You think of flat.
Let's see what deliciousness you'll create today. So many flavors and choices. Dark roast with hazelnut creamer.
And, well, in 2004 already, with the release of Rhythm and Gangsta the Masterpiece, the one and only Drop It Like It's Hot came out.
When the pimp's in the crib, ma, drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. When the pigs try to get it.
It's not just
I would have never thought that song would have worked when it first came out. But
nothing. Tongue clicks, bottle sounds, finger snaps, and pauses, which pumped stronger than any bass could.
I made the beat. I started putting like spray cans on it. You did. You did. That's what you did. You was like, I need to throw that on there too. Put that on there.
The sound effect was somebody spray painting some gang shit on the wall. I'm like, this is really this right here.
Like, nigga, I know you spray painting some gang shit.
Prior to getting to know Pharrell, thought he needed to be tough.
But it bring the visual out once you do the video.
Respect. But Pharrell introduced him to a whole new side, where he would be happy and smiling, all while being respected doing so. Which is why, at this point in time, he stepped away from his gangster image.
That was my shit right there. So like Seductive or whatever that dude was called.
As a producer, I'm like a mirror for people. I try to show them sides of themselves that they don't ever use. It's like when people take selfies, they only use like one side all the time. So I'm the guy that's like, hey, you know, God made another side. Like, it's very interesting. You should try it.
By the way, Pharrell recounted how he once inhaled smoke that was coming from Snoop Dogg at the studio, and after that, he could no longer continue working and hardly made it home.
The next thing I know, Snoop is tapping me on my shoulder. Everyone's in the room because, of course, it's Stevie Wonder. The booth is that way, in the glass. I'm sitting here. Snoop is on my shoulder going, produce the Pharrell. He right there. Produce the. He waiting on you right now. So now, I want the seat to swallow me up because I am so high that I'm paranoid. Bro, do you know how scared I was? I left the session.
At approximately the same time, Pharrell worked with artist Gwen Stefani, and they made the hit song Holla Back Girl. Listening to this beat, you can tell that it's just as simple and minimalistic as was the case with Drop It Like
I understand why Pharrell will be considered a legend, but not Dr. Dre.
You're probably wondering what the result of the collab work was.
Prove to me, show me why Dr. Dre was that nigga. You know what I'm saying? I see why Pharrell is that nigga. They showing it, but ain't got no evidence like that behind Drake, but NWA.
Hit at number 1 for Gwen Stefani, and yet another triumph for Pharrell.
He look like he want to kiss the nigga. Damn, never noticed how much that beat is like a remake of the Eclipse beat with the beating on the desk thing.
He also had a collaboration with Madonna. The song Give to Me was obviously produced by him.
What are you waiting for? Nobody's gonna show you.
He did one more hit track for Beyonce.
That didn't
And
sound
he
like a
helped
hit.
Mariah Carey bring back the fame she once had.
That don't sound like a hit either.
This period was the Neptune's true golden era. Pharrell and Chad became rock stars in the production industry. Their style, which consisted of sports tracksuits, chains, and the ever-present baseball caps, became iconic. I think Pharrell had one of the most stylish chains in the history of hip-hop. This one right here cost him $1 million.
Damn.
But if we are to talk about music, then each one of their new works was eagerly anticipated by artists and labels. By the way, Pharrell never planned to be a solo artist. However, he had accumulated a few songs he simply just had to put out. He said the following in an interview once: "To be honest, songs that I ended up putting out by myself were always songs I wrote for other people. I made Frontin' for Prince, and even Happy, I wrote that for CeeLo. We'll talk about Happy a little later." And so, he wrote the melody and chorus for Prince, but he didn't like it. He even wrote another version, but it still didn't appeal to him. The song we're referring to right now is Frontin', which Pharrell himself showed up in together with Jay-Z.
So you think about a chance, you find yourself trying to do my dance, maybe because you love me.
In this track, Pharrell showed up in such a cool
Yeah, I think
way.
the only reason why that song worked was because of Hove. If it was just Pharrell, I don't think
Fans
it would work.
waited for him to release something. He was in no hurry, as he wanted his album to match the high expectations. The recording of this project dragged on for a few years, and Pharrell just couldn't find the ideal sound for his album. He wanted to find an ideal balance between rapping and singing, but as you've understood, it didn't work out. The album, which received the name In My Mind, didn't make an impact, and it didn't even come close to the height that he used to get from his work as a producer.
Right.
Even Jay-Z and Kanye West's verses didn't save the situation. Many decided that it's best for Pharrell to continue producing than to rap.
That's a
fact. The coochie and the feelings got cuffed. Spiderweb sex must have got caught up, but there's more to it. I remember once.
However, sometime later, many
remember that
began
song, but it
positively
sounded
responding to the album. Tyler, the creator, who used to call himself Pharrell's main fan, said that this album had influenced his generation. But at that
See, I never thought about that, but now looking at it, I could see that Tyler the Creator get a lot of his inspiration and swag from
that time, it was a blow for Pharrell. Because later on, a few years later, somewhere between 2008 and 2012, he basically had no hit songs at all. Many thought that Pharrell had to retire and give way for the younger ones. But Pharrell did not give up. And here, he got to know the French duo Daft Punk and the legendary guitarist Nile Rodgers. And they released Get Lucky.
Oh, all right.
The dust hadn't yet settled on the disco throwback in the summer of 2013 before there came out another super hit with Pharrell's voice, a provocative R&B funk piece called Blurred Lines. It was performed by Robin Thicke, featuring T.I. and Williams himself.
Together,
I remember.
Your love turned the whole world
Counting them out, he came back with a few, huh?
And all the while, you were watching clothes dry. Audible. There's more to imagine when you listen.
Premier Protein Caramel Shake. My ride or die. 30 grams of protein and 1 gram of sugar. Let's go.
Ads, as you call it now.
However, with this track came an unpleasant story. The court found Blurred Lines to be too similar to the Marvin Gaye classic Got to Give It Up.
It definitely is the same sample.
Pharrell and Robin Thicke had to pay up millions of dollars in compensation. It was a blow for his reputation, but he didn't break. After that, Pharrell worked on the track Happy. The funny thing is that he recorded this track for the movie Despicable Me 2, and not for himself at all, but for CeeLo.
I could tell.
They say the demo was cool, but Atlantic Records thought the track was out of season and does not suit the artist's style. Because of that, Pharrell once again had to perform it himself. The rest is even funnier. Pharrell sent them the first version, and the creators of the movie said it doesn't work well for them. Then he sent them version 2, and they refused it. He sent the third version. Once again, it was a no. He recorded version 4, and again, it was a no. Many in his position would have just said, "I'm done, you're driving me crazy." But he sent them for the 6th time, then the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, and On the 9th attempt already, Pharrell was running out of patience. And he thought, that's it. This will be the final attempt. The 10th time will be the last. And was only in the 10th attempt that they said yes.
That's why they said never stop, be consistent. You hear me? Never stop, because you never know what's going to be the one that break through.
One of the most sold songs in the entire world in 2014, with more than 10 million copies sold. And that's just on the official record. The track became a hymn of an entire generation, sounded in ads, movies, and in every party. Happy also received an Oscar nomination for the best song for a film.
That shit go way beyond them just singing. I'm happy. That shit is good for a lot of different scenes.
Would you believe Atlantic Records faced realizing their mistake for not allowing CeeLo to take on this track? In any case, around that same time, Pharrell released yet another new album titled Girl, which was perceived considerably better than the solo album prior to it.
Girl, I like you. I can see it the way you like. I can do it the way you need.
Later on, he also released Freedom. The song was used in an ad for Apple Music and in major events, further strengthening Pharrell's image as an artist who carries a positive message.
And where we're from, man's white flower, it's in every living thing.
And would you imagine that while writing the script for this video, I found out that Pharrell was in Kendrick Lamar's chorus for All Right.
God got us, then we gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright.
All right, yeah.
Nigga, we gon' be alright.
And then my buddy KP, who was a A&R, he was like, because I was like, we gon' be alright. The way I was saying it on some Virginia shit, and
that's what makes it.
Well, well, he corrected me to say all right, to put the R in there, and so I ended up doing it.
In the 2010s, many new artists like A$AP Rocky, Billie Eilish, and Lizzo referred to Williams as a role model to follow. And so, Pharrell became the point of contact between the eras and a bridge between the performers of the 2000s and the current scene. Here's Drake for you, bragging that he bought Pharrell's chains, thinking that it's cool. And in 2017, he released an album with the band NERD. The entire time, we didn't mention this band even once. Generally speaking, NERD is actually Neptunes. However, now as artists, not as producers. They also created this group to release music which the labels didn't allow to do so through Neptunes. Oh yeah, and the abbreviation stands for No One Ever Really Dies.
Our personalities are energy. You know, what makes you mobile as a human being is energy. And
I believe that
once you die, that energy goes somewhere.
Right.
And so therefore, no one ever really dies.
And now about their music. The guys released a few albums. In 2001, they released In Search Of. In 2004, Fly or Die.
She wants to move, but you're hogging her.
And I never knew that's what NERD stood for, too.
No One Ever Really Dies. There were a lot of big shot artists in this album, from Rihanna
about that one
to Kendrick Lamar.
Niggas really didn't mention that fucking Mystical song. That was one of Pharrell's first hits.
Andre 3000, but it's unfortunate that it did not get the attention it deserved. You can't get this rhythm out of your head.
Time pterodactyls over all the way. I notice fractals, clover honeybee. That's why I kinda gaggle.
I promise to love you, to feed you the food you deserve,
to be your best friend
Another one, I don't know why they consider him a great.
Wix, one platform, any website, unlimited.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this opinions, but.
And could you imagine that even the friendship between Chad and Pharrell came to an end after 30 years?
Damn.
Turns out that in 2022, Pharrell, through his own company, applied for rights to the trademark only for himself, without Chad. The latter found out and understandably took offense of that. After all, they built this brand together for 30 years. Chad announced through lawyers that Pharrell knew that we always did everything equally. It's dishonest. His lawyer even said that this is a lot like a hostile takeover. In response, Pharrell said it's a misunderstanding. He just wanted to protect the name from outsiders. And Chad was and always will be his friend. He
So why
admitted
you
in an
didn't put the
interview
man's
that
name on
we
there?
don't talk now, but I love him and will always only wish him the best. And so they now
was a
don't
weird
work
way to
together
go out,
and only communicate through lawyers. But Pharrell still speaks well about it, and many hope that they will still reconcile. I'm personally sure that they will find common ground. By the end of the decade, Pharrell Williams had turned into an actual cultural mentor. He sat in the jury for the show The Voice, coaching young singers. His subtle intuition helps him kick off the careers of new divas. And so, Ariana Grande's album Sweetener 2018, produced by Pharrell, became a pivotal moment for the singer, showing her in a whole new light. Pharrell continues to release hit songs. The latest track that he produced and became a hit was the track called Timeless, together with The Weeknd and Playboy Cardi. While in 2025, he produced Clips's first album in 16 years, Let God Sort 'Em Out. The production was brave. Many found this release to be very corporate-like, especially in comparison with the unpolished sound of the Neptunes era. But even despite such remarks, many labeled this release as perhaps the main rap album of the year. What do you think about it?
Uncle said, nigga, you must be sick. All you talk about is just
Clip's album was cool.
Now,
I do believe that.
Pharrell is not just about music. He's a fashionable revolutionary. His brand Billionaire Boys Club and collaborations with Louis Vuitton gave us a new trend. Hip-hop made its way into high fashion. In 2023, he even became the creative director of a men's line for Louis Vuitton. And so, Pharrell is already a lot more than just a producer. The next video that I recommend you watch is about the producer Dr. Dre. If you like this document,
maybe if they could explain to me what makes Dr. Dre that nigga. All right, you right. I might gotta watch it. That was cool. I liked that one. If y'all liked it, put it in the comments. Let's talk about it.
Don't do it for the bar, just do it for the bar. Just